Hi, in this lesson, we're going to learn about work for hire agreements so that you can make sure that any work that contractors do for you is fully owned by you and your company. Hi, I'm Angel from Artsy Course Experts, and we help creative online course teachers with their tech. In this lesson, we're going to go over work for hire agreements so that you can make sure that any work that contractors do is fully owned by you and your company. This includes resources, course, community documents, all sorts of stuff. We're going to make sure that whatever it is that they do to help you out is fully owned by your company so that in the future they can't sell it and they can't own it or block your company. First of all, what is a work for hire agreement, sometimes abbreviated WFH? Businesses use this agreement with independent contractors, not employees, to make sure that their work is delivered and it's fully owned by the owner, the client. This makes sure that contractor work is owned by the client. In these agreements, they're usually short, 2 or 3 pages, and they have a couple of essential elements. First of all, they need to be signed by both parties. It could be digitally signed with e-sign, and we'll get into that later, or paper signed, and that's okay too. Usually, these agreements cover the scope. What are the things, the services that this contractor will provide for you? It may also get into milestones. When will certain things be delivered? Or it can be in perpetuity, which means forever, and it goes month to month. And you may even specify specific dates of what is it that they will provide by when. Next up, in an agreement, you might find payment. You could be very specific about the payment, but you're just generically saying contractor will get paid for these services. Or you can get very specific and talk about payment 50% upfront, 50% at the end, or all at the end of every delivery. Some people use the payment provided by freelancer websites so that payment is not really part of the agreement, but you call out that contractor will get paid for these services, and then that's all you put in the agreement. You want to explicitly call out who is the owner of these works, this content, these services that the contractor will be creating. By default, somebody who creates content is usually the author. That's the whole point of this, is to really make sure that the works that they do is owned 100% by you, the client. And you want to make sure that the rights to be sold is with you, the owner, not the contractor. The contractor cannot transfer the works to another person, cannot reuse it, cannot sell it, cannot license it. You, as the client, are the 100% full owner of whatever it is that you work with your contractor, whether you work partially or fully, or they do fully, but at the end, they were hired for a specific work and you own that work. Another important part of a work for hire agreement is the confidentiality. You may make it general and they can't share it with outside people. They can't disclose your secrets, your trade secrets. They can't disclose information about your new course or your community or your book or your coaching processes. All those things could be covered in a work for hire agreement. And finally, termination. There's a couple of different clauses that lawyers could use to talk about when you both agree that the work is done, you can wrap up the work for hire agreement, or if one side wants to wrap up, all those things are part of the termination of the work for hire agreement. Now, there's different kinds of works that these contractors can do for you, the client. These works are well defined in the copyright law, but here are some of them, and there's a few more. The first one is a collective work where you guys are working together and bringing in a variety of pieces from a bunch of different people, and you're working together to build, a document, a course, a resource. Another one is supplementary. You have something, they're helping you make it better. Or in that case, you might have a PDF document, but they're enhancing it with text, with pictures, with diagrams. Another type of work is part of an audio visual work. So maybe it's part of a video, maybe it's an intro or an outro overlay, or they're enhancing your marketing materials or your courses. So that's an example of what a contractor would do for you, and you would still be the owner of that enhanced video. Another type of work that is called out explicitly is instructional text. You're providing a lesson, maybe these are slides on how to do something, why you should do something, journey that you're helping your customers on. Contractor might help you with that instructional text, but at the end, you still want to be the owner. Another type of work is a test or answers to a test. It's very common in course businesses to have quizzes. You can have quizzes per lesson or per module or at the end of the entire course. You might even have a survey, but you should definitely think about all these different tests, questions, and answers. And if you have a contractor help you, you want to make sure that anything that they did there delivered to you so that you're the full owner of all of that work. Some other types of works include translation or compilation, where they're gathering a bunch of information for you. All those other kinds of things would be considered types of works that are covered by works for hire agreements. Remember, this is just information to get you smarter on what a work for hire agreement is. You're going to definitely want to talk to a lawyer and get proper legal advice for your business, for your country, for your specific needs. But I just wanted to inform you on this concept, a work for hire agreement. So if you're a creative teacher and you're making courses or community or a teacher website for coaching, and you have an expanded team that's helping you, you should look into works for hire to absolutely make sure that you own all of your content. Now, once you have this works for hire agreement, there's a couple of different ways to sign it. So let's just quickly hit a couple of them. There's software such as DocuSign that lets both parties log in, they review it, they click their check boxes, they might have a virtual signature, and at the end of the day, those seem to be accepted as a proper method for both parties signing an agreement. There's a bunch of apps that you can use for digital signing. DocuSign is the industry leader, a little bit more advanced, a little bit more complicated, but they are the industry leader. Next up is Adobe, and you know them from Adobe Reader and the PDF suite. They're also in this game, and they're an established player. Again, they're a little more expensive, more for medium to large organizations, but they are a solid player. And then there's some smaller players. Some of them have free trials as well as completely free versions. These are websites called HelloSign, PandaDoc, and SignWell. Some of them have free versions, and they can even let you create a template. Once you get a work for hire agreement from a source like your lawyer, you can upload it as a template and then reuse it again and again for each different contractor or each different project. And of course, you can still use good old-fashioned paper and signing. You could do paper, you can use your camera to take a photo and sign and email back and forth, or even a fax machine. And by the way, fax machines could be done in software now. Those are all different options for getting a signature on a work for hire agreement. But the most important thing is to make sure that you're the legal owner of your training content. Now you're a lot smarter on what is a work for hire agreement, when you should use it, potentially how do you get it signed, and for what kinds of jobs you might want to use a work for hire agreement. If you have contractors that are helping you create, your course material, it could be slides, it could be videos, it could be graphics. Maybe it's your marketing material like YouTube or podcasts. Maybe it's community content. In your community, you have resources such as, procedures, tutorials, all those kinds of things, or even in your coaching or in your teaching on your website. If you have contractors that are helping you on any of these kind of assets, think text, graphics, video, diagrams, any of those kind of things, you're probably going to want a work for hire agreement. To learn more, check out the info and links in the notes, and subscribe to get more tips for creative online course teachers. And to get any help with courses, a community, or teacher website, visit www.rtcourseexperts.com. Talk to you soon.